Greetings and welcome to NAILBA Engage. My name is Nancy Cooke and I am the National Sales Director for Securian Financial. Today we will discuss the topic of mergers and acquisitions. Some may even call this a form of succession planning for traditional BGAs. Before we begin diving into some questions for our panel guests, I would like to very briefly introduce them. We have Bryan Adams, co-founder and CEO at Integrity Marketing Group. Bruce Donaldson, President, Chief Executive Officer at Simplicity Group. Luke Kaplan, President, Life Insurance and Annuity Brokerage with Gallagher. And Scott Perry, CEO at AmeriLife. Welcome and thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today. I will kick it off with our questions. And I'll start, Luke, if you don't mind, I'll start with you, and then Bryan, I'll move on to you, and we'll work through that as we go through the other set of questions.
Sounds good.
Luke, what do you believe the future holds for independent distribution in the U.S. in the next 5 to 10 years?
Sure. For starters, I'm sure it'll come as no surprise, but I'm bullish on the next 5 to 10 years for independent distribution, both in the life and annuity brokerage space. But I think we all have to solve some pretty big questions ahead of us strategically. And I boil those down into really 3 categories, which is, what are we going to do to play our role in the war for talent? And we talked about succession planning, and we help people with succession planning, but I would say as an industry, we failed at succession planning for ourselves. I think there's a real talent void, and we all talk about bringing the future into the business, but I don't think as an industry on a macro level, we've done a terribly good job. So I think we all need to figure out how we're going to tackle the war for talent and bring more sales talent into our organization. Second would be technology. We can have the conversation as technology and the pace it's moving at a threat or an opportunity. I absolutely believe it's an opportunity, but we're all going to have to make some major decisions and investments in how we embrace technology to maintain our relevance in the distribution channel, how to make our businesses more efficient and profitable, and also how to meet prospects and clients where and how they want to be. So I think we have talent, we have technology, and third is really going to be new business opportunities, right? Where can we provide new lead generation and find new sources of distribution? I'm a big believer in alternative distribution, have been for a long time. I think it's picking up space, but I think over the next 5 to 10 years, the agencies and the organizations that win will be able to successfully address bringing in new talent, technology, and finding alternative ways to distribute what we're doing. Because I would say that, not only am I bullish about what we're all doing as professionals, but I think there's going to be an increased demand for what we do and the products we sell.
Bryan, would you have an add-on?
Yeah, so first of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys today. And I think the future is brighter than ever in the overall independent distribution space, and especially with the leadership of groups such as NAILBA and what you all provide, and what this institution really represents, and the resources you guys provide really shine a light on this industry in a huge way. And I want to thank all the leaders that are part of that, including Chad Milner, who's the chairman of NAILBA this year and is one of our partners here at Integrity, and we're incredibly proud to support him with all the leadership that he is contributing. And so I believe that just like Chad Milner coming into the industry with following in huge footsteps with Chip and the rest of his family, I think that one of the biggest opportunities in this market is to really bring in new people and the opportunity to really just show the next generation just the incredible business that we have here in the insurance business, the incredible opportunity to serve others and really come alongside of people and make sure that they've got incredibly important life and health insurance needs to take care of those important days when they'll need them the most. And I think that was reflected in even the government's response to COVID, whenever they recognized the insurance business as an essential business. And I think that just is something to be incredibly proud of, to recognize how much of an opportunity we have to serve Americans, and the fact that we are an essential business and just the continued growth that we're seeing here. So we're very excited about the bright future that the insurance business has. I think that bringing in new people, really showing new young individuals this opportunity to get in and really make a huge difference, and then really count on them to give back, just like Chad and and others have done in NAILBA to really get involved and get engaged as part of that. I really believe that the independent model that we reflect here and we're part of is the most efficient and effective model to bring the important life and health insurance and annuity products to Americans, and we're incredibly excited about the future.
Great, thank you. Scott, I'll move on to you for the next question, and Bruce, just to tee it up here. What do you envision happening in the consolidation of the insurance brokerage business in the next 5 years?
So I think much like the P&C and the benefit space that we've seen happening over the last 15 or 20 years, I think there will continue to be consolidation in the market as the market and the carriers are driving, for greater efficiencies. So, I think, driving to greater efficiencies and driving to enhance the advisor and the consumer's experience is going to be kind of paramount for, and the motivation behind the consolidation. I think, Luke mentioned it earlier when he talked about, what's next, what's important in the next 5 years for independent distribution. I think technology plays a big role in that. I think ongoing continued consolidation, driving to increased efficiencies and enhanced agent, advisor, and customer experience enabled by improvements and investments in technology.
Thank you. Bruce, would you have anything different to add to that?
No, I very much agree with Scott that technology is going to be a continued avenue where the expectations of both our carrier partners and our agent partners are going to increase, and ultimately that brings a benefit to the consumer. But I would absolutely echo Bryan's comments around the enthusiasm for this industry, the need for life insurance, and its importance to our society has been validated by the government, and we are an essential service. And I think appropriate planning, the use of life insurance is going to become increasingly important. But to pick up on what Scott was saying, I think consolidation or institutions like ours and others that are represented here on the forum tonight, represent the future in terms of expectations for our carrier partners are going to continue to rise. The needs of our agents are going to continue to rise. Size and scale is going to matter. I would say the one thing that I might take a slightly different tack from my peers on this call is, we've been at this for 4 years, and I have been, continually amazed by the number of talented professionals who sit and are in this business already today, and their ability to bring others along with them in that service model that Bryan referenced, I think is absolutely there. What is oftentimes missing, or the elixir that we can provide, is really that succession plan. So consolidation and M&A activity, people think about that, they talk about it, they think that's, realizing efficiencies or selling our company. At least its simplicity, that's not what we're doing. We are building what we hope will be the leading distribution business in the country, but we're doing it by adding new partners to the mix who are excited about growing the opportunity we have, but doing it with a product and a service that, has just been validated. The importance of it has been validated by the government. So I'm very, very enthusiastic around what the future holds. But consolidation and aggregation in organizations of size, that is going to be a continuing trend.
If I could just add to that, Nancy.
Sure.
I agree with everything that Scott and Bruce said. I think just to add to that, if you really separate mergers and acquisitions, we have two distinct transactions that both qualify as consolidation. I think all of us on this panel who are active in acquiring agencies all agree that we're doubling down and will continue to do so, which it's proven to be a good investment, and there's a lot of demand for it as we have a lot of agency principals facing business and career transitions in the near future. yet we still need to meet the demand, that is out there. But I think in addition to the acquisition activity, we'll continue to see a lot of merger activity. Just some smaller agencies merge together, figure out their own version of succession planning as well, and create some efficiencies there, which also could ultimately lead to larger valuations themselves. So I think we're going to continue to see both mergers and acquisition activity separately.
Bryan, I'll start with you for the next question and then move on over to Luke, if that works out okay. What are the main components when valuing an agency or BGA? And I understand that the valuation will be a little bit different for all of them, but how do you, big picture, create a value or discover a value, calculate a value of an agency?
Yeah, so first of all, I totally agree with what the other guys have talked about, and just really that opportunity of being able to come together and create more value across the board is an incredibly opportune experience for a lot of these new partners. I think whenever you look at valuing a business, first of all, the way we look at valuing a business is we look for people first. We look for making sure that there's a strong cultural fit, that there's underlying good, strong growth characteristics that you can build upon. At Integrity, we don't run companies. We partner with great people. We give them additional resources. We try to provide them with additional support and services so that they can grow faster. And so we look for underlying organic growth. And then at the end of the day, you need to really look at the overall earnings of a business and really understand the top line and bottom line earnings of the business. And then you assess what you think is a strong value that you can be able to provide to that organization overall. And it's a lot of times more than just money. A lot of times it's that peace of mind of joining a larger platform and really taking some burden off of someone's shoulders. One benefit is being able to diversify, not only in your business. At Integrity, we're able to all be owners of each other's platform and part of each other's businesses. And so you're more diversified inside that business, but also more diversified inside or outside the business with your own investments and things of that nature. And so really, as we look at it, we look at a lot of different components. We don't think that there's a one size fits all or one size fits most even a way of value in a business. We try to look at people first and culture. We look at really the market that they're in and really how does that align with what we can help support them with. And then how can we continue to provide them value to even grow faster than they would. And then the last thing we look at is really the traditional valuation metrics of what are the earnings of the business. And then if you find a combination of all of those, then at the end of the day, you can really partner with some great people. And I can tell you one thing that we've done is we've never overpaid for a great business. We love coming alongside of really great entrepreneurs that want to continue to grow their business. And there's an opportunity for us to add value to accelerate that growth. And that's where it gets really exciting here at Integrity.
Great. Luke, would you have additions to that?
Yeah, I mean, what Bryan said, but no,
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly. The only additions I would make is it absolutely starts and stops with people and culture. We don't have inventory in our business, right? We're in a people business, so we get to the numbers last, right? You start with the people. We're acquiring agency principals and their key people and the culture that they've developed. So Gallagher's been in the business for 93 years. We've done over 500 acquisitions. You better be pretty good at it by now and knowing what we want or what we don't want or what's a right fit or what isn't a fit. So we spend a lot of time on the people. Then you take a look at a consistent, sustainable track record of growth, both top and bottom line. We're also looking for areas where we can help an agency as opposed to just making it a financial transaction. That they're really set up that they would benefit from joining us, and Gallagher would benefit from having them join us. And then last is if there's a specific subject matter expertise or niche area of expertise, we're big believers in providing value through niche expertise, whether it supplements a current niche that we have or diversifies us and brings us into a new line of business would be the third thing. But absolutely about the people.
Makes sense. Thank you. All right, Bruce, I will start with you on the next question. Would you be able to share some of the process your firm goes through when a prospect is interested in pursuing options with your firm?
Sure. What we are building here at Simplicity is really a partnership. By that, I mean, we're looking for like-minded individuals who, want to create value, that see the benefits of being part of a larger organization, but really have the spirit of working in a true partnership model. Every single principal who's joined Simplicity is a stockholder in Simplicity Group. Everyone's excited about the value that we are creating, for our shareholders, but really it's about how we can take our pooled resources, share them amongst the different firms, and then deliver a homogeneous value proposition to our agents so that our agents, regardless of which sales office you happen to be contracted with or doing business with, can avail themselves of all the products and services that are available in the broader Simplicity Group. And so common ownership is key to what we do, making sure that the best of what we have in our different organizations is passed down to our individual agents, and that we're creating a partnership where our partners are our best referral source. So if a prospect or an organization or a business owner is thinking about succession planning, based on the illustrious group that's here tonight, they'll have no shortage of options around where to go with their succession plan. And frankly, as Bryan touched on, the value from an economic standpoint is not really going to be the issue. What will distinguish each of our firms is the culture and the way we're approaching creating value for ourselves, the way we're creating value for our agents, and the way we're creating value for their clients. We think the best way to do that is in a partnership model, and that's why we rely on our existing principals to really be the referral mechanism for new prospects who are looking to join, one of our organizations, in our case, Simplicity.
Scott, would you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, sure. So, our model, AmeriLife is owned by private equity. Our model is very much a, holdco, centralized, with centralized operations with decentralized customer-facing operations. So when we partner with a firm, our first and foremost step is to get to know each other. So we spend a lot of time learning about the people, the strategy, the culture, because those factors are paramount to, kind of how we evaluate and assess value. But we, want to do the reverse too. And we spend a lot of time with our, prospective partners, allowing them to learn about AmeriLife and our culture, our people, our values, to ensure that there's alignment there. So, that's absolutely the first step, and it's the step that determines whether we go to the next step from both sides. Certainly there's, the financial aspect of the transaction, but that I think is, kind of the details. The most important part are the people, the strategy, the capabilities, and the cultures. And once there's alignment there, then the partnership makes a lot of sense to both sides. And with our structure, we have a relatively affordable access to capital. We can deploy that capital either in the shared infrastructure or directly into our partner firms to help accelerate their growth and expansion, and allow them to access things that they might not have been able to access as an independent firm, to lever the capabilities across the platform, to enter new lines of business, to add on maybe small acquisitions themselves. And we provide the resources and the capabilities to enable those types of strategies.
I think I'll stick with you for the next question, if you don't mind, because I think it piggybacks on a couple of things you just said around culture, value. What are the 2 or 3 things that make it the most beneficial opportunity or view, if you will, for the merger or acquisition?
Yeah, similar to what some of the other folks have said. We are in the people business, so it starts with people. That is, number 1A, number 1B. And it's, there's a lot of good people in our business. So it's about good people, but it's also about, the timing has to be right. The timing has to be right for, the individual, whether it's a succession planning move that we can help with, or a growth kind of a plateau that the organization's reached. We can help them get over that. But people and leadership teams are number 1. I think number 2 are unique capabilities. So are there additional capabilities that the firm can bring to the AmeriLife platform that can be leveraged across the enterprise? And so, that makes an opportunity really interesting to us if there's something unique or proprietary about the way, either the way they go to market or how they conduct business. And lastly, are kind of growth prospects. So are there, growth prospects strong, and is it, demonstrated by historical performance, and have they kind of lined up their business in a way to take advantage of dynamics in the marketplace that we believe are in a position to grow and expand. So kind of those 3 things: people, capabilities, and their prospects for growth.
Yeah, hey, Nancy, one thing I would mention, and I'm sure all of us on this forum will have different versions of the same thing, but for simplicity, I would say it's a passion for service. We want people who think about the value every day that they're delivering to their agents and their clients, that have a passion for growth, that see that the industry is changing, that there are opportunities for them to grow their business, but really better serve their clients. I think the need for financial security has never been greater than it is now. There's so much uncertainty and so much risk, whether you're talking social, financial, health, the products and services that our agent base or the life agent base delivers is incredible. And we need to be really proud of the services that we deliver to our clients, our ultimate client. And so that passion, you can feel it when you engage with people around a succession plan or a merger and acquisition, that comes screaming through, or it doesn't. And at least for simplicity, a passion for growth and a passion for service. That's what we're really excited about. We think the prospects for the industry are great. There are challenges. There are always going to be regulatory issues. There are always going to be naysayers that take shots around what we do, but we should embrace that, take the challenge on the chin, and turn the entire conversation around and talk about the values that we deliver that they can't get anywhere else. And that's that financial security.
Yeah, and I think Nancy, if I can just add to that, I have a bit of a unique perspective on this question in particular, because like many of the people who are watching this, I actually started Integrity out of my home, and didn't come from a private equity background or financial background from that perspective. I started out selling insurance door to door in college personally. And then we started Integrity out of my home and worked out of my home for many years before we were able to kind of put this whole business together. And it was a whole idea of us bringing people together, and together we can accomplish more. And so when my partners and I started with 2 other guys, and when we sat down and we talked about, do we want to sell part of our business? Because I personally have been exactly in the shoes of a seller, because 4 years ago we brought on a partner ourselves, or an investor ourselves, and we sat down and we really said and really outlined, and each of us wrote down the 3 main reasons that we wanted to look at a transaction. And so the first was, we wanted to take care of our families. We wanted to make sure our families were taken care of and we left a legacy for our families. Second, we wanted to take care of our employees, because our employees are the ones who got us where we are today. And this is a people business. And if we ever forget that, we're going to be out of business. And then third, we wanted to stay in the game, and we didn't want to go away. We believe the best days were ahead of us. We're in the second inning of the business, but we wanted to not take all the risk. We wanted to grow faster. And so for us, we look for partners that have those same kind of three categories: people that want to take care of their families and set up a legacy for their kids. Typically, this is the most valuable asset that a partner owns, an individual owns, and being able to take some chips off the table is a pretty interesting opportunity for people that none of us ever even realized possibly could happen. And then second, we want to take care of our employees. And so one of the things we did at Integrity, and one of the things that differentiates us at Integrity, is we are partner owned. Over the majority of the partnership at Integrity is owned by partners and employees just like myself. And so we actually gave back to all of our employees and made every employee an owner here at Integrity, and we are now an employee-owned company. And so as a partner joins Integrity, we want to give them ownership. And so as an employee joins from another partnership, they immediately get ownership, and Integrity is part of that. And it was part of us recognizing the employees are the most important part of the business. And then last, we want that passion for service and that idea of wanting to grow faster, serve more people, and help this industry continue to grow. And so that's why you've had people that are young, like Chad Milner, who's in his early 40s, choose to join Integrity so that he can do those same things, take care of his family, take care of his employees, and then also stay in the game and keep growing and be able to give back in service like Chad's doing here at NAILBA as well.
Yeah,
Really good information.
and I appreciate what Bryan's saying. I guess the only thing that, and maybe it distinguishes Simplicity, is that we also think that you really have to take care of your agent base. Ultimately, it's our agents that are really engaging with the clients. And so everything that we do is thinking about how do we empower the agent to deliver better service to their clients? How do we take care of the distribution that we built up and are building up? So, recognize that, there's a lot of commonality in terms of approach, but for Simplicity, I would say our hallmark is we're really focused on providing value to our agent base.
But I'm going to switch the question around a little bit on what are the non-starters? Even though something might look like a really good opportunity, but you start having some discussions and what's the game changer in walking away?
Because I think what Bruce was just hitting on is an important point. And I believe that that's table stakes, frankly, is at the end of the day, our customer is our agents, and we've got 275,000 agents throughout the country to take product through us. And it is our job to provide them with just incredible service every single day and add value to them, whether it's new product offerings, new sales techniques, or new investment technology that we continue to provide to people on an ongoing basis. The three things that I would say for us that we are really non-starters is really back to what Bruce was talking about. It's all about people and culture. For us, we've got to have the right people, and people who don't see the fact that their agents are the most important thing, and that don't have that culture of service, they just won't fit in for us. And so it's one of those things that's a non-starter for us, and that we try to really identify very quickly and understand are these people with servants' hearts that are looking to provide great value, because that is a table stake. Make no mistake about it. That is something that we all have to focus on and continue to grow, focus on and continue to work with. And then it's all about how are they growing, and how can we come alongside of them, and can we help them grow faster? And if there's a way that we can provide them new tools, new technology, new products, are there services that they offer that we could take and apply across the Integrity platform, which we've done in many different partnerships, some of the more unique partnerships that we've added, such as Thomas Arts, our advertising agency that we partnered with, that has now been able to take their God-given gifts and abilities of 200 of the smartest advertising executives in the industry that are just focused on the senior market, and use those resources to help all the other partners. Those are examples that we look for. And so I think it all comes back to people first and that servant's heart.
Yeah, what I would say is the non-starters for us would be somebody looking to sell to us and join Gallagher just as part of their succession plan, so they can sell and leave. No harm, no foul, which is not something we're interested in. The other one would be along those lines would be, I want to join Gallagher, but I want to still just be left to do what I do and be wildly independent, but draft off all the good stuff, but then keep what I think is the bad stuff behind and just take advantage of the good stuff. There's nothing wrong with that model or that mindset. Gallagher's approach is we want you to keep doing exactly what you were doing, which is be extremely entrepreneurial, strong sense of sales culture and service culture. But you are in time changing your jersey, right? You will be wearing a Gallagher jersey to different, varying degrees. And that's when you can take advantage of the full platform resources and brand identity that we have. So, you can identify those non-starters very early on in the conversation. And again, that's fine. Once we do know that there's a mismatch there in terms of future vision and, joining the firm versus coexisting with the firm is when we would step aside.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Luke. I think, at AmeriLife, we're looking at that first point in particular as well, looking for people that want to continue to build, continue to grow. Like Bryan said, that still have, strong growth prospects for their business and are believers in their business, believers to the extent that the way we structure our deals is, most of our partners maintain a significant ownership share in their entity. And that demonstrates to us that they believe, that it has room to run and they want to be part of it. So, if you're looking to toss the keys to somebody, like you said, that's a plan. It's just not a plan that fits our strategy. I think the second thing that's a non-starter is strategic alignment. We're very much a holistic provider of products and services to serve the near and in retirement market. There's a lot of good businesses out there that are in, targeting other demographics and other products and services. If it doesn't align with our overall strategic vision and the platform that we're building, it might be a great business, but, we don't want to, allow an acquisition or a partnership to take our eye off our focus and our strategy.
And I guess from the simplicity standpoint, the thing that I would add is that, we're looking for people who are proud to work in the industry in which we work. There are enough outsiders, regulators in particular, who like to take shots at the insurance industry, the life insurance in particular. We want to take those people on. We want partners who are willing to take it on. They're proud of what they're doing. They believe in the services that they provide, the value of the products, and are unafraid of engaging with it in a dialogue with Elizabeth Warren right on down. We need to take these, the naysayers out of the mix. We need to proudly fly the flag of the service that we provide. And we're looking for partners who want to grow their business and be proud of what they're doing in the services and the products that they deliver. That if you don't have that, then simplicity is going to be looking for something else. But I'm sure there's commonality, but that's how we would distinguish ourselves.
Yeah, all really good information. I'll get to the last question here and have all of you weigh in if you don't mind. You've all touched a little bit about culture, or it's come up in a lot of the comments, the answers. If someone were going to sell their agency and continue to work with or for you, how do you address what is the right, quote unquote, cultural fit for everyone? So Luke, if you don't mind, I'll start with you.
Sure. If I could reverse that, we only want to acquire someone who is agreeing to stay on and work for us. So gotcha. I want to take the if out of that question for Gallagher anyway. And culture is one of those things that the employees define the culture, not a leader telling you what the culture is, right? So again, you go visit an office, a prospective acquisition partner, you can't fake it, right? So you know what the culture is early on in the process. So again, that's the first step in qualifying a good mutual opportunity. So we know that up front. But the key to that is setting that agency and those principles and their key people up for success in the future, right? So it's a deep cultural alignment that has to be there. But I sold my agency to Gallagher, so I went through this process as someone who was acquired. And obviously, culture is really important. And there's obviously a financial transaction on the front end of an acquisition that some of us have touched on already. But if you're truly a firm that's culturally aligned with the firm you're partnering with, and you're really in growth mode, the proof's in the pudding on did you really grow after acquisition, right? So I think a lot of time has to be spent. You can't just say we'll help you grow. You have to prove that you can help somebody grow. So at Gallagher, as I mentioned, has done over 500 acquisitions. That's not a hollow value proposition. We've done it. And what I can tell you is my deciding factors when I joined Gallagher, we had a number of suitors out there, where I answered the 3 questions we started this panel with. I know I need to hire more better talent. I need to make investments in technology, and I need to develop new sources of lead generation. We're coming up on 3 years since the close of our deal with Gallagher, and 2 of those 3 years have been the best years that my agency, South Cap Brokerage Group, had in the history of its company. So it's much more than culture, but if the culture piece is off, you're dead. You're dead in the water. So, but again, it's not just, yes, we're good people and you're good people and we'll all get along. Let's really dive into what culture means. So, again, for us, it's a non-starter if you're not looking to stay on for as long as possible. And someone once asked, "Oh, do you ever divest?" I said, "I hope our divestiture is retirement. That's when we would like to say goodbye to you." So I'll let some of the other folks answer as well.
Brian?
Yeah. So first of all, this is, you cannot underestimate how deeply personal and important of a decision this is for somebody who is really contemplating potentially partnering or selling their business. We've gone through that. I've personally got through that. And I can remember the sleepless nights of thinking of what would that look like. And really, for us entrepreneurs who have built these businesses that have grown them out of our houses or garages, and really taken them to new heights that really surprise all of us. And you get to this day, it's an important day. It's an important decision. And so for me, it was really important for us to really find the right cultural fit. And so I would encourage people to really spend their time, talking to others who have partnered with the different firms, really doing your own due diligence, and really making sure that you understand really what culture is at that new firm, and really what they're going to do for your employees and for your community, and continuing to grow that business. We look for businesses that are continuing to grow, and then we want to add fuel to that fire and help them grow even faster. And so at Integrity, we're growing at 3 times the market rate in all of our core product lines organically. And we've been able to have what we call the integrity effect of partnering with agencies, being able to take burden off of them, the things that most of them don't want to deal with, and be able to accelerate their growth and let them focus on what they're really good at. And so I would encourage somebody to really trust your gut, recognize that this is an important decision, ask around, talk to others, go and see their office, see what their partners are really about, and really how they've benefited, not only financially. The financial aspect is frankly ubiquitous. It's everywhere. The money's going to be there. It really is. What do you want for your legacy, right? For those founders of a business, I mean, this is an important legacy for you and your family that you want to last much longer than after you're gone. And so at Integrity, we don't change brands of businesses. We want to, we don't fire employees. We come in and try to offer more to them. And we try to give more products and services to that business to accelerate their growth. And so I would just encourage people to really to do that soul searching, to do your due diligence and really understand really the opportunities that are ahead of you. And then at the end of the day, trust your gut on the people that you want to spend the next phase of your professional career with, and that you want your business to really spend this next phase of its life cycle as well? And can they get you further than you could get on your own at the end of the day?
Makes sense. Bruce, Scott, would you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'll just jump in real quick. I mean, I concur with everything that Luke and Bryan have mentioned. It is something is determined real early in the process. I mean, either both sides will determine if there's a cultural fit. But I agree with the comment that's table stakes, right? I mean, do you share values? Do you kind of see the industry the same way? Do you have kind of similar views on where the market's going? That's table stakes. But how do you really determine the fit? I think there it's all about do you kind of share a belief in how to get there, and what's fundamental to achieving that objective. And for us at AmeriLife, back to the comments around people, it starts with people and investing in people and doing right by the team. Similar to what Bryan mentioned. I mean, our strategy is very much to let the businesses operate from a customer, agent, advisor facing perspective very autonomously, maintain the brand equity, maintain the teams. They're the business operators. They've built it. They love it. They want to. They're passionate about it, and we want that passion to continue. Just again with the support and encouragement and investments that we can provide to help them achieve that faster. So gaining that alignment on strategy, gaining the alignment on kind of how to execute that strategy. And I think both sides will determine really quick is what fit really means. Because it's one thing to get along and to kind of feel good about each other. It's another thing to kind of concur on here's the objective. Do we share that objective, and do we kind of have the same vision on how to execute the plan to get to that objective? And I think if to me that's that fit. That's how you really determine if the partnership makes sense. And in our view, it's investing in technology, investing in people, investing in processes, staying focused on the agent, the advisor, and kind of delivering value to both sides of the value chain, making sure we're good stewards to our carrier partners, as well as continuing to add value in everything we do to help our agents and advisors be more effective and efficient at servicing the customers and delivering the customers' needs.
And for simplicity, when it comes to the question of culture, for us, it's much like the question of strategy. This is a dynamic market that we work in. We don't presume to have all the answers. Our culture, like our strategy, is really set by the principals who are doing the business day to day. If you want to get to know simplicity, I wouldn't encourage you to come to the home office. Certainly everyone's going to have a nice setup. What we always encourage our prospects to go visit the principals who've already joined Simplicity. One, they get a great flavor for what it means to be part of a true partnership, where it's a best idea wins culture, and who came up with it doesn't matter, because we all own the same stock. We're all driving towards the same result, and we're all focused on the agent base as the ones to whom we need to deliver the value so it can make it down to the client base. So that's a hallmark. But much like the strategy, the culture is really set by the people who come in and join the band, and then we try and maximize the talented professionals that we have with us today and those that are looking to join us as we set the strategy for the company. And unsurprisingly, that really mirrors where we think the industry is going. So we're looking for passionate people. We're looking for people who are proud around what they're doing and see the value in what we do. And we never take our eye off the ball in terms of our clients or our agents. That's where our service has to go. That's who we think about all the time. And I think that's what really distinguishes Simplicity.
Thank you. Really great insight from all of you, and I really appreciate the time today. Thank you very much for being on the panel. Luke, Bryan, Bruce, and Scott, thank you again. And thank you for listening in and watching our merger and acquisition Q&A. And I implore you to continue to be engaged with NAILBA. It's 2020.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Nancy.
Take care.
My pleasure.